right? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to strip away things, address what's underneath, addressing the foundation so that it can be built upon and be sturdy and strong, right? So sometimes we need to allow time while we take and spend the energy to address our foundational issues. Meaning, let's say we're broken up from our spouse, separated, divorced, or it's just going really bad, right? To take a step back and say, okay, more than the cliche of I'm working on me, I'm just going to work on me. Yes, absolutely. You just work on you 1000%. Okay. But when you feel like, okay, I've been working on me, I feel like I'm good now in the sense that I think we could come back together now. I think that I've learned a lot of lessons. I've grown. I'm ready for this thing to come back. Maybe they're not. Maybe you're not as much as you think you are. Maybe you're not as ready as you think you are or you feel you are, right? And so there's foundational issues that still need to be addressed. So, and all of this is to say marriage is such a ministry that it's not about you and you're lonely, you want your spouse back, you want them back for this reason or that reason, or you just miss them, the friendship of it, whatever. It's not about you, okay? And I'm preaching to myself, okay? So forgive me if I'm like really, I'm this way, okay? Now, it's not about you. It's about the ministry of it. It's about the service of what the Lord and how the Lord can and wants to use that marriage. So I might be like, Lord, I'm ready for this, new car. I'm ready for it. Like, let's go. I want it. Okay, but hold up. It's not about what you want and what you're ready for. It's about, I want to use that new car for my purposes, right? And you want the new car because of reasons that you like, but I want to use the car for my reasons. And the Lord is basically having us wait or being held up because we might be ready or anxious or excited about something, but the Lord's like, but hold up. It's more important that we get it ready for my purposes. Okay? What's more important is that we get the foundation secured for the marriage for my purposes. The Lord is saying, right? As opposed to what you would like. That I need help with the bills. I need my husband back. I haven't been intimate with any woman for a long time. I need my wife back, right? It's not about your reasons. It's not about what you think you're ready for. It's about the reasons that he wants it together. That's what he's concerned about. Yes, he cares about us. Yes, he loves us. Yes, he wants to bless us, and he cares about, he knows every little hair on our head or every hair that's not on our head. He knows the number of the hairs on our head, right? He does care about what we care about. He trust me. So yes, he does care about the little things that we care about. That's not a problem. It's all good. But I'm saying the more important thing, the priority, those other things will be addressed. But the priority is this is like the Lord thinking or talking, right? How can I use this marriage for my glory? How can I use this marriage to reach others? Because the plan or the goal is to use the marriage, the union, to tell his story, right? To show his glory, to show his love, right? Just like we always talk about Boaz, and Ruth, look at David and Bathsheba, right? Look what God brought out of that. Like, it was started so sinful. It involved murder and adultery, for goodness sake, from the king who was the only man who was after God's own heart. And he committed adultery and murder. And then his first son, their first son, dies. And then guess who came out of that? Joseph and Mary's great grandparents. Okay, Nathan and Solomon. That's the lineage, the genealogy, right, of the Messiah, Christ, Jesus. So the Lord brought something, well, not something. The Lord brought the Lord out of David and Bathsheba's sin. So that story is like the hugest story of redemption and whatever else we want to throw onto there, right? God's sovereignty, God's purposes, whatever, God's glory, his beautiful love and mercy and forgiveness. We could throw all these beautiful things about the Lord in that story. And what was it involving? It involved David and Bathsheba, two people who messed up really bad. But the end result was Jesus the Christ, the Messiah. And so I'm saying our stories about our marriages, it's not just about what we like, what we would like, what would make us happy, what we need fixed in the marriage. It's more importantly about what does the Lord want with this union, this marriage? What is his purposes? What's the story he wants to tell? Who are the people he wants to reach through this marriage, through this union? The kids, the grandkids, the family, the cousins, who's watching your marriage, right? Who is learning from your marriage? So I don't want to be too long-winded, but I hope you get the point, right? Marriage is way more than just about us having a love life, and having roommates and having our partner, our best friend, whatever. Way more than all that stuff. That's all good. Lovey-dovey stuff is amazing. I love it. Romance, you might not know me. I'm all about romance, but that's just our earthly needs. But what's more important is what can the Lord get out of this? And so that's why sometimes when we're going through difficult seasons or seasons where we feel like we're waiting for something to develop, as we work on ourselves, we're waiting for, things to kind of get in place. It's because the Lord is working and he's shifting and moving things around, but he's not just thinking about the here and now. He's thinking about years down the road. He's thinking about what is the story going to look like later or to these other people or whatever. Get my point? So don't be discouraged if you're broken up, separated, divorced, and you're standing for your marriage, believing in restoration and healing. Okay, keep that, like they say, keep that same energy. Keep that energy. The Lord is working. 1,000 years like one day is like 1,000 years to the Lord, right? Like he's working on his timeline, but his time is always best. And he's always on time according to his beautifulness. Anyway, I can go on forever. I hope that encourages you. All right, one, peace, deuce.